Okay, so this is my first video for the channel, but I wanted to do it because I thought it was somewhat important. It's important to me, and I'm sure it's important to a whole bunch of other Americans out there, or just anyone really, because it if it's happening in America, then it's happening anywhere, or could happen anywhere. But I just saw a CNN article with a video on New York working together with government agencies to help find homegrown ISIS people, people that are converting over to the ISIS movement, and their fear of them bringing on homegrown terrorism and attacking people on American soil and all that kind of stuff. So I was doing a little bit of research. I don't want to make this video too long, but I did want to show you, something that I kind of thought was somewhat important. There's two videos that are in this one video, one from Fox News, where they're saying that ISIS has pretty much stated that they're in 15 different states. They even named some of the states here in the U.S., and a video from CNN where New York is helping the United States government or certain agencies in the government find people locally here in New York, because I'm from New York, people that are part of the ISIS movement, and hopefully stopping them. Now, if there are people out there that are in ISIS and they're in the United States or in any country whatsoever, I hope they do get caught and found and all that kind of stuff. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on that just kind of makes me wonder about things. And one of the things going on is a huge exercise called Jade Helm 15. And this exercise is one of the biggest in government history. And they're even labeling certain states as hostile states. I'll do a whole nother video later on Jade Helm 15, but you could do some research on it. Just go to Google, do a search for Jade Helm 15, and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff about it. They're blatantly, talking about home invasions and finding dissidents and all sorts of other stuff. But watch these videos. You guys decide for yourself if you think ISIS is in the United States, if there's something to worry about, or if it's all just a psyop, maybe just to get us ready for something, because something is going on with Jade Helm 15.
Bold and frightening new threat from ISIS this morning. The terror group promising new attacks in the U.S. in the next 6 months. And it's even naming specific locations. Let's bring in former Navy SEAL Team 6 member Rob O'Neill, the man who shot bin Laden, and a Fox News contributor. Rob, your reaction to the fact that they say they have 71 trained soldiers in 15 different states?
Good morning, Brian. Thanks for having me. The reaction I have to that is they're telling the truth. Because they're more populist than anything, and they're very popular on social media, and they're allowed to take they're allowed to claim any attack was theirs based on whether or not they like it. So someone can say they like ISIS, tweet about it, and then make an attack, and based on what happens, ISIS can say, yeah, that was us all day long, whether or not it's true.
What does it also tell you that the FBI has been looking at one of these guys since 2006?
Well, that's a tough one, because ISIS is so popular right now because, they're over there with this glorified sense of resilience because no one's fighting them, so they can make all of these videos. People can watch them there, and there's a lot of sympathy for ISIS in this country. And, they see it every day. It would take about 25 people working around the clock just to track one of these people, so it's very difficult, even though the FBI is doing a great job.
Two guys show up with AK-47s in a car. And they get to the perimeter and they're taken out because that place was bulked up, knowing that there would be somewhat of a security threat. Rob, your thoughts about other people who might not have that security to layer them?
Well, they need to get the security. This is a prime example of the difference between a gun-free zone and Texas. They showed up at Charlie Hebdo. It was a massacre. If these two guys would have gotten into that building, it would have been Charlie Hebdo times 10. But fortunately, these guys showed up because they were offended by something protected by the First Amendment, and they were quickly introduced to the Second Amendment.
And, of course, here are the states that have been pointed out by these guys. There is California, Illinois, Michigan, Virginia, and Maryland. When they come out and say something this and make themselves this transparent and name exactly the states and knacker the names, is that a tactic that we should look at as a head fake, or we should take it at face value?
I think a combination of both. They're probably talking to people there too, but they also do realize that if they can lie to us, which they will, we might alter it. Like I said, it's going to be a tough one. And this is a spot where people need to realize the best way to protect themselves from these attacks would be to arm yourself. It's so much easier for them to help radicalize somebody, have them get a weapon, and then go use it, as opposed to getting a bomb, which can be sniffed out or can be spotted just based on the way they purchase the stuff to make the explosives. That's easier for them.
Rob, what's your opinion? When Bill O'Reilly and Donald Trump came out and said you got to be smarter, you shouldn't have conferences like these to talk about drawing pictures of Muhammad, and others who say it's all about free speech, I don't care what takes place, you have the right to do it. Where do you stand?
Well, I mean, it is protected by free speech, but again, I think you do need to be smart. There's no reason to insult so many millions of Muslims that are our allies, like Saudi Arabia and Jordan, people like that. Yes, you can do it, but there's no reason to. There's no reason to insult people like that. And again, too, something that other people don't realize, it's not just the Prophet Muhammad that shouldn't be depicted. They believe other prophets in Islam, meaning Jesus and Moses, shouldn't be depicted either. So there's a lot of stuff out there, but I don't see a reason to offend people for no reason.
Gotcha. Rob O'Neill, thanks so much.
There are hundreds of suspected ISIS supporters in America, and the FBI says it can't keep an eye on all of them. Now, police departments, including here in New York, are stepping in to increase their surveillance of people who are potential ISIS terrorists. Law enforcement officials tell CNN the FBI surveillance squads are tapped out, not enough of them to track people who are using social media and talking to ISIS members overseas. The fear is that those people could be plotting an attack here. We asked the FBI director, James Comey, about this yesterday.
It is an incredibly difficult task that we are enlisting all of our state and local and federal partners in. We're working on it every single day, but I can't stand here with any high confidence when I confront a world that's increasingly dark to me and tell you that I've got it all covered.
Now, the change in strategy is part of the fallout from the foiled terrorist attack a few weeks ago in Garland, Texas. Two gunmen, inspired by ISIS, tried to attack a Prophet Muhammad cartoon contest. Now, they were killed by police, but law enforcement officials tell me that one of the gunmen, Elton Simpson, was under FBI surveillance, but it wasn't 24/7. FBI agents lost track of him for a few days. The FBI had no idea that he was on his way to Texas to carry out his attack.